individual Greece players, but we do know, we spoke about it last year, they're playing with the clubs at Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, AEK, Athens in Greece, and then they move, and they're all around Europe, in different clubs in Europe, and they're in different countries, and they're more technical players than what we are. And so it's going to be a tough ask tomorrow night, I would say, and you're going to look up to, like, I was very disappointed in Ida, the Celtic player. Now, again, I didn't expect him to be rocking the net, but overall, I thought his lack of energy, he was demoralised, they had defeat accepted, would say. So it's more attitude I'm looking at now. So I don't know what you think for tomorrow night. Is that the first thing? That the players have to be, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Paul. I think on the game itself, it's going to be night time. I think it's 7:45 kickoff.
Yeah.
And we have to get in amongst them. Obviously, the crowd probably won't be as loud as in Saturday's game, but that's we expect this Greece. We're taking on that in North England. But yeah, this is more a realistic game that we can actually get some points out of. But having said that, though, I was at the game last year when Greece. No, it was Stephen Kinney and Gus Bryson both moved on. But I was at the game last year and they completely killed us. Tsimikas, he's a player that plays for Liverpool. He's the left back. He's probably the player that most Irish people would know. He's good. He's a good player, to be honest with you, Paul. And they have a few other players that play in the English league as well. They're on the upper curve, Paul.
Yeah.
If you remember, I think they were in League C. Like, we're obviously, this is League B now we're talking about. They were in League C not so long ago. They got promoted. They were guaranteed a playoff even before a ball was kicked in the last European qualifiers. And they gave France and the Dutch a much better, much harder games than what we did, to be fair to them. I think though he lost 1-0 at home to Holland to a penalty. And obviously they beat us home and away. And that was at that game last year. It was in October. Yeah, they completely killed us. So we started there in the early part of the game. We were quite competitive and we were doing well. But once the first goal went in, like the game against England, that's it. And I was saying, not comparing Greece with England, to be fair. But again, that first goal seemed to deflate us big time, and that same thing happened there on Saturday. We have to try and stay in games a lot more. We have to cut out these sloppy goals we're giving away, Paul. I know it's only the first game for Heimer's reign, but I saw a lot of worrying aspects of the game on Saturday that I saw under Kenny, and even under O'Shea's time as caretaker manager. We seem to give away some sloppy goals. Concentration, confidence, as you said yourself, Paul, is probably as low as it's ever been. So it's a real big ask for him to turn this around in the space of a couple of days. Obviously, the confidence is low. We've lost team, and nobody likes that. But we have to be realistic as well. But this is a game we're probably more realistic if we can get points out of it. But having said that, Paul, Greece will be targeting this game as well, and if we think we're going to be able to get a guaranteed 3 points, that's not a hope. I think at best, Paul, is probably 1-1 because I can't see us keeping a clean sheet either. Yeah. We just can't. In Dublin, in particular, whatever it is, we seem to give away a lot of sloppy goals away from home, at home. Sorry, we would be expected now to have more of the ball now than we did on Saturday. I mean, that's just normal. We're playing Greece, but technically, Paul, we don't seem to be able to pass the ball very well. Midfield is where the main issue is, Paul. I've never seen the Irish midfield as so lacking in quality as I do now. In years gone by, we had Wes Hoolin. Even before that, we had Roy Keane, Matt Holland, Mark Kinson, even Lee Carsley himself in midfield. Now our options are pretty limited, and particularly in that centre midfield. Malumbi and Jason Knight and a few others there.
I know you just mentioned Jason Knight there. I was very surprised he didn't start for the week. Start on Saturday. Now I don't know if he injured or he came on as a sub, but last year in the last campaign he was one of our better players. But no, it seemed the manager said that he didn't pick the team, that he stood back to John O'Shea picked the team. No, look, okay, but Jesus, I mean, I thought all you need was access to a video recorder, and Jason Knight was one of our better players. Now maybe he was injured or carrying enough. I don't know, but I just
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose he had to heavily rely on Paddy McCarthy and John O'Shea because he wanted to keep the continuity together from those caretaker games that John O'Shea had. And I suppose John O'Shea and himself were heavily influenced in the squad picks. But I think he probably would see a few things he would want to change personally himself for this Irish team. And he'll obviously discuss it with his backroom team, no doubt. But I think he needs all the help he can get because, as we've been saying, he's only had 7 days with the players. obviously he would be talking to him on the phone and stuff like that during the time he was calling them up, but he hasn't been able to get his hands on the tactics, the approach, and how we're going to play. So I would probably judge him more on this game against Greece because it's more realistic. And we've been saying yourself, Paul, and I have been saying it as well. This game was probably the more important game out of the two. Obviously, the England game was more hyped up, razzmatazz and all that stuff. Grealish and Rice and the whole build
and of
up.
course, don't forget the clown of the so-called Irish supporters who put a banner together instead of supporting his own team. From some comment about calling Rice and Grealish snakes. That came back to bite him, I would say, but that's just me going up and attending. Like, if you're going to a match with a banner, support your own team.
I think so. There was some banners actually in English away supporters that were a bit dodgy as well, but we won't go into that. But look, fans can they pay your money. You can unless it's absolutely very, very bad. I don't find it. I think it's a bit of tongue in cheek, and it came back to bite him, as you said, so it wasn't worth it. But look, I think this game on Tuesday night, it's more important than the England game, to be honest with you, for Heimer and to the backroom team and all this, to see we're playing a team that we can compete against. They are a little bit ahead of us, Paul, as we've been saying. They're on the upper curve. They were one game away from, 1 or 2 games away from qualifying for the Euros last time they were in the playoffs. And look, I think I probably see a 1-1 draw, Paul. You're asking me to predict the game. I probably see a 1-1 draw. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet because at the moment.
No, just look at the formation. Should you go back to this basic 4-4-2 and keep it simple? When you have a team low in confidence and the results are poor and you're trying to get a result, even a draw is a good result. To me, and again, I don't care what sport you're talking about, you go back to basics. You try and keep it as simple as possible. 4-4-2, and so you have a solid defence. Because the first goal from England came about with this 3 at the back, and they were cut out completely with that. Jack Grealish moved to the left-hand side in the first half. I saw the first half. I didn't see the second half, but I saw the first half. And every time the ball came in, there was no one putting an access road of him with that. But these systems, it seems to create space for players. And I think Carsley mentioned it afterwards in his interview, or in that press conference after the game, where he said that if Ireland played this system, that Jack Grealish would move to the wing and get space there. And again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see this. But in my opinion and your thoughts, should they go back to basics, keep it simple. Don't be trying any of these fancy stuff. They're not Manchester City, they're not Chelsea, they're not Liverpool, they're not the top teams, they're not France, they're not Argentina. Keep it simple, keep it basic. And do you know what I mean? And by doing that by step, when your confidence is low, you have to try and keep it basic and do the simple things right. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think they said themselves, Heimer, Grimson said himself, he wants to get back to basics. Now he probably wants to evolve as a little bit better too. But to be fair, Paul, I think with 4-4-2, a lot of managers don't play the 4-4-2 because I think you get the other team can get an overload midfield, particularly in the centre midfield where they have more numbers.
It's very simple. You put in the 2 wingers in and you tighten up.
Yeah.
If you need that, what's that? And I'm not I'm not an expert on tactics and soccer at all. But I'm watching it long enough now. That's what you do. But look, if you talk way, I'm sure you.
I think like you said yourself, you bring in the wingers. I think 4-4-1-1, like where you have the striker up front on his own and a bit of support behind him, but you don't get crowded out midfield. You get numbers in there, make it as hard as possible for people who are more technically better than you to limit the space. But I think whatever tactics we would have brought out, Paul, I think England would have beaten us.
Oh, they would. Looking forward to the game tonight. Talking about going forward.
Looking forward to the game on Tuesday night. Look, I think you want to see, like you said yourself, from Adamida, if he does start, Evan Ferguson's probably not fully fit now. He did come on at the end of the game. I think when the ball does go up to Adamida, he needs to hold up a little bit better. Now, I think, to be fair, when we were playing against England table, he had no real support. The balls into were chronic. I think he had 1 header in the game. I think that was it. But yeah, he's going to get more opportunities to hold the ball up, and we need to get semi-Hispanics up at the pitch further as well. Coleman is out, so probably Doherty be a right back or a right wing back, and Robbie Brady, he looked poor.
No, sorry, in my opinion, he was not in Ireland. He had a great 2016, but I just think he's the end of the line. He's lacking pace, he's lacking confidence, and I just think he's not.
Yeah, I think left back is an issue for us. To be honest, left back and left wing back, whatever formation we pick, even as a winger. I like to see Casey McIntyre get more of a run in now in the game against Greece. We need to get further up the pitch, Paul. When it goes up to the media, he needs to hold up the ball, but also needs support quickly to do some damage against the opponent. Now, we won the first half ball. We won the ball high up the pitch from Jack Grealish of all people. Just as they won the ball back, and I think it was ball was played in Sammy Smaddox. I think Sammy Smaddox might be disappointed with the effort there. I think he could have hit a little bit harder, more power. I think it was more concerned trying to get the ball on target than really maybe drilling it. I think we could do stuff like that, win the ball up high up, put pressure on the opponent. Don't let them out easily. You know, if the teams are going to play out from the back against us, I mean, let's use that to our advantage. Let's get it high up the pitch, but don't get too high, because if they do play it out around us, they might get in at our midfields and our back four then be exposed. But I think we have to take a few risks in terms of that. When we win the ball back, we can use it effectively. That's what I'd be looking. I'd be looking at what we could do from our set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks, throw-ins, particularly in our attacking third. Can we keep the ball up higher up the pitch? Can we get a few chances on goal and get the crowd involved? Because that's the crowd were just waiting to even for a corner or throwing or up the pitch to get involved in the game. I remember last year myself when I was watching the Ireland-Greece game. Whenever we got a corner or something, we got the crowd involved, and it was half decent. Like we were 2-0 down at the time. We were looking to try and get back into the game. The crowd would get behind you if you can give them something to cheer, to get to create some excitement. So I think that's what we're going to have to do now on Tuesday. You know, it ain't going to be any pretty stuff. It can't be. But we need a few more chances. Need to hold up the ball a little bit better, pass the ball a little bit better. You know, create a lot more than what we did, and hopefully we can get a win. But I think the best way we can get, Paul, is probably a 1-1 draw, because I can see us conceding again.
Yeah, I think the most important thing we don't lose, because we lose, that's it. Your hold below the water line again with that. Just a quick word. Seamus Coleman is the captain. Great player with his club. But he's coming back from an injury. He got a very serious injury last year. He did wait to come back, but he's now, whatever it is, he's missing for the game tomorrow night because he got an injury. I think now, even though he might be a great leader, you might bring him into the squad as a leader and as a personality around the camp to the younger players. But as his time on playing on the pitch now, I think he has to be cut loose from playing, because, in my opinion, and this is not a personal attack, but not alone is he the wrong age to the end of his career, but that injury last year did an awful lot of damage to him, and he's caught for play. And teams now, if he plays Noel, and I would do it if I was a position manager, if Seamus Coleman is playing, I would now target him because he's a weakness, and that's just the way sport is. So maybe have him in the squad, maybe for his character building, for all that. But in terms on the pitch, I think he has to be cut loose. I think Robbie Brady has to be cut loose. And I don't know, but look, that's up to the manager to make. But look on the outside, that's what I would do anyway.
Yeah, I think, look, he always has done, Paul. He's been a great servant to the team. He's the captain, but it's sport, Paul. You know, I thought he might have walked away after the European qualifiers, but he didn't. And look, he's one of those players that you would have to probably tell him to say, you know, it's over, rather than him announcing himself. But look, his injury record is a concern. There's no doubt about it. He had a bad injury there.
Yeah.
I think even John O'Neill's time, Paul, where he broke his leg against Wales, and sadly he just hasn't been the same player. He was a brilliant player when he first started out with Everton. He owes Everton not neither. I think he got the Premier League record appearances for Everton as well. Yeah. He's been a great player for us, but as you said, just time catches up with you. And when I'm not writing him off at all, if he still wants to play, and Heimer thinks he's still a good option, he is a good option. But this is like whether he stays on for all the Nations League campaign and the World Cup qualifiers is to be seen. But it's probably should be seen as a squad player now, maybe as a starter. I know he's the captain, but he probably won't to last a whole campaign, probably, without picking up more injuries. So it's probably something that Heimer and Seamus will have to discuss. But for now, I think we need all the players we can get, Paul, at the moment. So I wouldn't cut loose just now, but like the end is coming, sadly. So look, get back to Tuesday night. I just want to see a good performance. Show a bit more character, a bit more nastiness, maybe. We need to get a bit more back into our game, and hopefully we can get a result. I just think it'll probably be a draw. Hopefully we can nick it, Paul, 2-1. But I think I think a 1-1 draw or nil-all draw or 1-1 draw is probably the most realistic result.